So what about the Genesis culture? What kind of culture are we trying to create? Well, first of all, we want a no excuses culture. And I know that in another part of the presentation, we talked about no excuses charters, doing well on test scores, but not on creativity. But that doesn't mean that the no excuses model itself is not a good one for creating a culture, because that basically says what my mother taught me, that the world does not accept excuses. So we do want a situation in which our young people learn to be accountable for their actions. And that's really all that means. We won't make a bunch of excuses or allow them to make a bunch of excuses for what they do. We will coach them and we will nurture them. So coaching is a big part of it, because you can't have the no excuses and seemingly being very, very much high on the expectation side without coaching kids on how to meet those expectations. They're children, they have to be taught. And we'll have what we call structured freedom. So we'll have hopefully a large space to play in, if you will, but we do believe that you need some really, really firm boundaries so that kids understand what's really acceptable and what's not, but again, with enough space to play so they can be children and learn how to grow. Another important aspect of the Genesis culture is that we expect leadership from our young people, that they should have real responsibility. So even at the youngest ages, we want them to be able to, for instance, take the whole reading and connection with ethics and actually be able to create their own classroom rules. We want them as they mature to get into a full-fledged student government, but they will be expected to take responsibility. They will have classroom jobs and chores because they have to grow and mature to become the leaders we expect them to be. It doesn't happen at 18, it happens early, and we have to grow leaders. They are not born, they are actually made. And we also want to create a family atmosphere so that, again, as I say at the beginning about what I believe, that this is really about ministering to the needs of our kids. There's a phrase in Latin called in loco parentis, where educators historically have been considered the family away from family, that we should be really paying attention to the needs of all children in the school to make sure that they are being treated the way you would want them to be treated. The village is an important part of building a culture, which includes all stakeholders, the board, the faculty and staff. It includes parents, and it includes all partners. Want to make a special note about our parents and the role that you play, but also the way we view how we should treat parents. So as a parent, I can feel certainly and relate to the frustrations that many of you probably have about trying to make meetings when you're working, about all of the stuff that is hard to navigate in schools. So we want to make sure that we give parents some options. For instance, we'll have digital parent meetings if you can't make a meeting. Everybody's got FaceTime or Skype now, and our teachers will be able to do that. We want you at the meeting, but if you can't make it, the most important thing is that we engage you. We also are really big on kids-only homework. What does that mean? Well, that means we understand that sometimes homework comes home and we all know the children can't do it, and parents wind up doing it. I know I've experienced that. I can't tell you how many science projects I've done. I know that's not supposed to be the way it is, but you know you're not sending your baby to school with a raggedy project. You're going to do what you can to make it the best that you can possibly make it. That's just the way we are. And I know how upset I was when my child did not win the science fair, because I'm like, that's my work. So we want to eliminate that. That doesn't make any sense. If we send homework home and the child cannot do it, it should come back so that our teachers understand what a child does not know how to do. And if it requires the complexity of what an adult can do, it shouldn't be assigned. We want our adults, our parents, to help to create an environment for kids to thrive, but we don't want you to have to do the work. We want you to help them. We know that many parents will, but that's fine. But we want kids-only homework. And lastly, we'll make sure that you get updated. We'll have a student information system that you can check regularly for grades. It'll also be able to send grades to you automatically if you so desire. We know we have to work really hard on putting that information in there, and sometimes that's difficult, but if you let us know, we'll try to encourage our teachers and help them get that information to you in a timely fashion, because you are probably the most important stakeholder in making sure our young people become who they really should become. Great young men and young women who make an impact and a difference in their community, and in their world. Thank you so much.